What's up everyone, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. Here is another car for us to unbox and have a good look at. This is the Losi 110 scale Baja Ray. Now, you won't notice that it does look very similar to the Rock Ray, but as you can see, awesome desert racer look, very similar to the Traxxas UDR as well. And on that, here is the Traxxas Desert Racer, very similar design. So it's got the panels off just a 1/7 scale to a 110 scale. It's got the trailing arms, solid rear axle, and also front differential, all that kind of good stuff that this little guy has, but in a much cheaper and smaller package. So that's enough talking. Let's unbox it, see what we get inside, and hope you enjoy the video. Okay, now here is the Losi Baja Ray. Now it's a very similar platform to the Rock Ray that I recently unboxed as well. But here it is, Baja Ray 110 scale 4-drive brushless desert truck. You can see it does look very similar to the Traxxas UDR as well. This is 1/10, the UDR is about 1/7, so maybe I can do a little comparison later on. But let's have a look. Like the Rock Ray, does include a little FPV cage if you're into that kind of stuff. But as you can see, 45 miles an hour with the optional 3S LiPo, so you can run 2S and 3S. Realistic handling with a long travel suspension at the rear. It's also got active vehicle control. Now flipped around the other side of the box quickly, it does have a powerful Dynamite 3800 kV brushless motor, waterproof electronics, molded roll cage and multi-panel design, long travel, independent front suspension, metal ring and pinion gears, which is always good for durability. Easy access battery door, that's at the back, but it's got that Losi style plugs. That might be hassle if you want to change them out. AVC and rugged forward drive drivetrain with 3mm aluminium chassis. So enough of that. We've already seen this with my other video for the Rock Ray. So let's just get this guy out. Around the other side. Now I've done a lot of unboxing lately, but weather, it's in winter here, so while it's a bit crappy, we'll unbox all the cars and we can thrash them all later on. But here we go, as you can see, beautiful blue colour. Now I'm getting really fond of these type of designs. I started with the UDR and I got this one now as well, so really liking this. Let's get it out. I took it out at the hobby shop to make sure everything was in there. Now it is ready to run. All you need is a battery and a charger. It does include the batteries for the remote control, which is always handy. And on that, here is your 2x4 GHz DX2E pistol grip style controller. It does feel nice. It doesn't have any nice kind of rubber or foam around the steering wheel here, but it does its job. It has your steering trim, your throttle trim, power, bind button, and also your reverse switches up the top here, and also your AVC or steering dual rate here as well. But good thing about them, they only take 4 AA batteries. Does feel nice. Stubby antenna, you can't snap it off, and it also does include 4 AA batteries in the to get you going. Okay, in the bag we get that FPV cage, other little components in there, and 4 AA batteries, and your Baja Ray 110 scale ready to run. Instruction manual. Now in here we have several other things. You got another instruction manual for your receiver and transmitter. A little brochure here regarding the FPV first person view setup you can run in this. These are the other optional parts that you can get. And finally, the instruction manual for the car itself. Basic stuff. If it's your first car, it's good to read through it. It gives you good indication or good knowledge on how to use a radio, what to do, how to bind, how to program, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, nice. Here we go. Now I'm getting really fond of these desert trucks. Started with the Traxxas UDR, and yeah, I don't know, I like them. I really like the super long suspension travel, front and rear, the awesome trailing arms, unique design with a solid rear axle, no differential at the back, but it does have it at the front. Kind of gives it that unique driving characteristic. So as you can see, it does have body panels, kind of like the real thing. You can take them off and see what's under the cage. So if you want to work on this, it's not going to be as easy as a normal car. It's got one piece of Lexan body, and you can get in and have a look and work on stuff as you see fit. So it's a little bit more difficult, but why that is, it's because of the scale realism. That's basically all it is. Like the UDR, it just looks realistic, and yeah, super cool. If we go first up here, let's have a look at the wheels and tyres. They're not beadlocks, they're pre-glued wheels, foam inserted, but they do feel really nice, quite sticky, pretty pliable as you can see, and they do have a nice disc brake scale look behind them as well. Same deal with the back, as you can see the disc there as well. Nice painted red caliper. Now flip it upside down, you can see the 3mm thick aluminium chassis, and it is quite a unique design. It gets really thin here, but I'm sure that's for a reason, and they've thought about that. But everything is nicely countersunk, and you also have hex head screws, no more stripping out your Phillips head bit. Here's your two main trailing arms. They are plastic, and your telescopic drive shaft. It just looks so familiar to the rock ray that I did previously. You've got a telescopic design rear drive shaft, metal yokes, I believe, or metal universal joints, so that's going to hold up with the punishment. It's kind of like a two-piece design, molded metal and plastic in one. Here's your nicely designed solid rear axle. It's all plastic, but it does look quite scale, quite nice when you look at it. Now your two links that are joined up to the top of the rear axle there are all plastic. Everything is plastic, but plastics has its place. It does flex, it does bend. If it's a good quality plastic, it's much better than an aluminium alternative, because aluminium doesn't like to flex a lot. But let's have a look at the top. This here wheel, you can take it off and use it if for any reason you blow a tyre. And there's a spare wheel if you ever need it. Underneath that you can see the imitation gas tank for the scale look, and also a close look at the pretty cool looking frame there. And while we've got that, and looking here, you can see the imitation two fans. I like it. Obviously it's just for looks, and there is your, snuck up there, your on and off switch in a rubber little housing for waterproof. So as you can see, there is one driver and a navigator in there, nicely molded. It's all one piece, and the ESC is all the way in there. If I can get these body panels off, I can give you a little bit of a closer look inside, because apart from that, there's not much else to look at because it's all enclosed. Now there's not much else to look at. You can see the lower A-arms, quite a unique design as well. But yeah, let's get those body panels off so we can have a closer look. Alright, now that was 4, 8, 12, 16 just to get these panels off here. There is another 3 screws if you want to get these side panels off, but we don't need to do that. So as you can see, nice piece, basic Lexan, but nicely detailed. Got the hood vents and everything in there. Nice stickers. You got the shell as well, or the main one right in the middle. So it's a 4-piece. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I move to the front of the car, and as you can see, your suspension, it is plastic coil-over shock, so you can adjust if you see fit. But there is no suspension, we can't change the position of the shocks at all. There's nothing at the bottom, it's fixed, and nothing at the top. It's just one hole, and that's how it goes. It does have sway bars there, so that's cool if you need to adjust that. Your drive shafts, quite thin, but they are metal, and the maximum life you're going to be putting is 3S anyway, so not going to be that much power running through. Now it's all plastic construction, no metal to be seen there, but that's not a bad thing. It's just no adjustability I can see at all. Now I want to get under here and see what's under this plastic cover. And definitely not a car that you want to be working on all the time. Alrighty, there we go, finally in. Now you want to remove 4 screws at the top to easily pull this out without demolishing that, and that's on a little hinge system there. Now with everything out, we can see the Dyna 130 amp brushless ESC. You can go from 2S to 3S capable, which would be more than enough for this type of car. You've got your lossy type of connector there. Now I'm not a big fan of those. I normally swap everything out XT90s now. And sitting behind there, right there, it's a SRS 6000 Spectrum receiver, and that has the ABC technology as well. Now you got your 12 gauge wire there. It's going to 3800 kV brushless motor, more than enough for this little guy. Pretty unique design in here. You do have a metal backplate here which will keep the rigidity, and that's also going to help with that really thin little chassis underneath there, so that's all going to help everything and tidying it up nicely. You've got your Metal Gear waterproof steering servo just there as well, and it's also, it does have, I'm just trying to look under here, just in there, servo saver to keep that steering servo longevity up. You also notice it does have a front sway bar, it also does have a rear one as well. You've got this long bar coming through here, sits underneath the ESC, comes out here, and you'll notice it sticking out the side just there. Now when you're taking the body off, watch out for these guys. These guys just sit here. These are like the body spacers. So just make sure if you knock them off or you hear a little noise blinging across the room, that's what those guys are. Now I've also taken the front wheel up, and as you can see, the little hub system here, it's got your disc and your caliper. It's all plastic, as you can see, it's attached by two little cap screws just there. So if you want to take off this mechanism, you have to take off this first as well, just like the UDR as well. Now that's basically inside of it. It looks like a normal RC car when you take this part off. Normally in an RC car you just kind of take Lexan off, and this is what you see. With all that other stuff, it's hard to see there. Now you can also see your center drive shaft just there, out of the way, but it's quite thin, but yeah, it'll do the job. Now I think let's get everything back together, and I can get the UDR out because I've got the panels off the UDR as well, or the body off, and we can see the difference. So here's my Traxxas UDR. It's basically a 1/7 scale, and here is the Barge RA. Very similar design, long bore shocks. Obviously this has got 2 shocks per corner, 8 shocks in total, where this is more traditional. But if I flip it on its sides, very similar design. Trailing arms at the rear, solid rear axle at the back, cage design, spare tyre at the back. Pretty cool. This is just more of a beast, and actually does have, look underneath, really thin channel here for the bottom of the chassis, as you can see there as well. That's interesting. Very similar design section here as well. It's like near identical. Obviously it's a similar type of truck what they're modelling, what they're basing on their real life, but there we go there. Trailing arms, solid rear axle, similar type of plate, front and rear bumpers obviously, but yeah, pretty cool. Now what I'll do now, get rid of this massive UDR, and I'll put all the body panels up and we'll wrap it up. Okay guys, got everything back together, all those body panels, like I mentioned, 4, 8, 12, 16 and another 6 I believe, so about 22 screws, but I don't think it's going to be a problem because you're not really going to be needing to get in here that often. It looks very well built, very tough, and yeah, overall a great design. It is looking exactly like a desert truck or desert racer, whatever you want to call them, but yeah, it is from Crazy Hobbies. Link is in the description, want to go check it out. That, and also where I got the Rock Ray from as well, so go check it out if you want to get more information about it. But please, I'll upload some videos of this running very shortly. Just been flat out, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new, please subscribe, click that little bell button as well so you get notified of all my latest content. But thanks guys, Steve here again from RC Janks and Trucks 24/7. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.